Okay, good afternoon from London. My name is Ciaron O'Reilly. I'm originally from Queensland, Australia, where Julian was born and lived for the first few years of his life. And also what brings me here is that I'm a former prisoner of the United States, a former anti-war prisoner. I served 13 months in jail in the United States for disabling a B-52 bomber during the first Gulf War, which really was the beginning of a war that has not stopped. It went through a lot of different phases. You had the bombardment equal to 8 Hiroshimas dropped over Iraq in 1991, and then the slow death of the sanctions through the 1990s, and then of course the invasion in 2003 and the occupation, and now the war has entered a new phase. Julian and Chelsea Manning are largely in trouble for exposing the nature of the occupation as well as other high crimes of the global elite. And we know Chelsea Manning is now in the 7th year of a 35-year sentence. So that's the severity that Julian is looking at and trying to deal with. Julian has been detained without charge for over 6 years here in England, and he has found sanctuary for the last 4 years due to the courage of the Ecuadorian people and government who've offered him asylum here. Julian is very resolute. He's very clear about what he's doing, and is an inspiration to many of us who struggle to continue against the ever-escalating, expanding war in the Middle East and elsewhere. I think from my own experiences being in prison, and really Julian is incarcerated here. It may be a gilded cage, but it is a cage due to the British police force who encircle this place in both an overt and covert capacity. My experiences of sustaining oneself while incarcerated is very dependent on your own sense of self or spirituality, and Julian has a very strong sense of that. He has been a resistor since his teenage years, but also the solidarity of others. And I know that's what nourished me while I was in prisons in Texas and Louisiana. And this gathering here today in London, which has been duplicated in Australia and throughout Europe and the United States, is what nourishes the resistance that is continued by Julian. Also, one thing I'd like to point out is that Julian's own sense of solidarity with others at risk. If it wasn't for Sarah and Julian, Edward Snowden would have been incarcerated since he exposed the US government in Hong Kong. It was very much the ideas and the creativity that came out of this building at the time that got Snowden out of Hong Kong and got him to a certain amount of sanctuary in Russia. So it wasn't the Guardian newspaper, it wasn't Amnesty International, it was a small crew of WikiLeaks people. And so that proves that it's not all about Julian. Here's a sense of solidarity with others who are also in jeopardy for speaking truth to power. Thank you.